So it's given here, ask every employee to provide a username and password before sending the email in spite of using autocomplete option. So now most often we see this autocomplete option. Yes, not only in case of emails but almost everywhere. Even if you want to log into your bank accounts or any such other sites you want to log in, they would give you the autocomplete option that is made available by the browser. Yes, so that should be avoided. Okay, so for emails also, that autocomplete option should be avoided. Okay, it should allow the user to give their username and password every time they try to access the server. This helps to avoid spam open relay mails. Next, limit the number of active connections at a given point of time. So if the number of active connections is open, there are more likely to have excessive mails, okay, that might flood your server or your network. Okay, so the less number of active connections you have, limited number of active connections you have, lesser are chances for your server or for the network to get congested, and that will help us. Okay, so this setting helps you to handle denial of service attack, that is, so it prevents from flooding. That is, sending or receiving excessive mails will create a congestion in the network and drops important mail messages. Next is the implementing DNS block list. So DNS block list is a list of blocked email IDs because they are the spam mail senders. So if any new spam mail is found, then record the spam mail ID into a block list finally, and finally it is attached to the DNS for blocking. Hence, mail from that mail ID will be blocked automatically. Next, we have the sender policy framework. So the sender policy framework needs to be activated. So that to ensure mail delivery, okay, and prevent spoofing, we should have the sender policy framework. So it is given here, most of the decoys. Decoys means the unauthorized users, okay, or the intruders. So most of the decoys use a valid sender mail address to send emails. And in this case, even the spamwares will not be able to detect it. So SPF will create the rules in such a way that even if someone uses the sender's email ID, it can detect it. So basically it is used for, SPF is basically used for email it is an email authentication method. Okay, that specifies the mail servers authorized to send email for our respective domains. Okay, so that no other forging sender can send emails. Okay, next we have enabling the spam URL. So the spam URL real-time block list. Okay, it's given abbreviation SURBL. So this is the full form is for spam URL real-time block list. So this detects emails with unwanted links. Having this will block all the emails with unwanted links. Next, you have encrypt every mail which is sent or received by the email server. It will prevent the information theft from the intruders. Lastly, we have enable all the network firewalls to filter the unwanted mails. So that was for securing the mail server. Okay, now these were the precautions that are to be taken to secure the mail server. Now we will talk about securing the email client. So here we have for the client various security measures. So they are securing the user system with suitable antivirus, securing the system with a strong password, change password regularly, never open any mail without scanning it by using antivirus. Simple PGP encryption can be used for encryption and decryption. So PGP means pretty good privacy. Okay. So implementation of proper email security will protect the system largely. So we can have security measures both at the server end as well as at the client end. Okay. So next we talk about hacking attacks. Now you all know, hackers. आजकल तो सब hackers से वैसा आता बहुत interested हो. You all are much interested in learning all these. So it's given here already. Hacking is a process of identifying the weakness in the system or network and gain access to the system based on it. During 90s, hackers were considered as extreme intelligent programmers. They used to study the system completely and then go for hacking the system. Nowadays, have availability of more tools for hacking is attracting many of the young minds towards hacking. Many organizations are appointing hackers to study the system. So there are good hackers also, there are bad hackers also. Okay, some will try to attack your system for their bad reasons, and there will be some who will try to find the faults in the system. So okay, they would try to get into your system to find the faults. So find the faults and maybe to repair them. So there are good hackers, there are bad hackers. Okay, so many organizations are appointing hackers to study the system before someone hacks it and creates more damage to the system. Many of the young minds are diverting towards hacking because they feel it is more interesting. Hacking is not a bad practice until and unless the intentions are wrong. It is always better to safeguard the systems from hackers. To safeguard the system from hackers, it is better to study a brief about hacking attacks and its preventive measures. So here we have some hacking attacks. Um, so there are some activities which are performed by the hackers, and the hackers, there are various types of hackers. Okay, so these are some 6 types of hackers we have, and they perform different activities based on the names. Okay, so the first is the ethical hacking. So here a hacker who finds the weakness of the system and fixes the problem. So here the problems will be repaired or fixed, okay, by the ethical hacker. Next we have the cracker. So they would crack into the system by having some unauthorized access, okay, for some personal use. Next we have gray hacker. So gray hacker lies somewhere between ethical hackers and crackers. Okay, they get unauthorized access to the system, find the weakness and inform the same to the owner of the system. Okay, next we have the script kiddies. So script kiddies means when there are some due to some lack of experience. Okay, some say some young minds who lack experience in hacking. So what they would do is they would use some existing tools or some codes. Okay, some computer codes or some existing tools to hack into the system. Okay, so they are not professionals, they use existing tools to hack into the system. So though they are known as script kiddies, they make use of some computer scripts or codes. Next we have hacktivists. So these are the hackers who send social, religious and political messages to others by using hacking softwares or websites. Next we have freakers. So freakers are basically the name freaker has actually come from 2 words. Okay, one phone plus freak. Okay, so basically it is to manipulate the telephone signaling in order to make uh, means fraudulently manipulate. Okay, so basically they focus on the telephone signals, so that they would fraudulently manipulate the telephone signals in order to make free phone calls. Okay, okay, so these are the various types of hackers we have based on the activities that they perform. Next we talk about the different types of attacks, okay, which are broadly classified as physical, syntactic and semantic. Okay, so first is physical attack. See, the for physical attacks, you see the attacks that focus to damage the hardware physically are known as the physical attacks. So from the name itself you can understand these kinds of attacks are very difficult to control because these methods will damage any kind of security enforcements. So these are the various physical attacks using bombs or fire, hurting the security guards, breaking the doors where secure information is stored, stealing of the servers and hard disks. So all kinds of physical attacks are being performed, okay, where information is available, stealing of password by creating harm to the employees, damaging the security cameras and so on. So these are some kinds of physical attacks that can be made. Next we have syntactic attacks. Okay, so these are the ways to damage a system by using some softwares. Okay, so this software includes viruses, worms, malwares and spywares. These softwares are introduced into the system by any means, and the software itself can do the rest of the damages. Most of the time, to get the sensitive data from the system, this kind of software is used. Emails are the best sources to introduce such malicious softwares into the system. And the last broader category is the semantic attack. So this mainly focuses on modifying the original information or distribution of wrong information into the system. This process was available even before the computers were introduced, like forgery, duplicate documents, incorrect announcements, etc. So in computers, it is very difficult to find the modifications done than the physical modifications. So through the computer networks, it is very easy to spread them to all the targets than in physical systems. Most of the semantic attacks will have their effect on decision making system. So it's given clearly. So these are the three basic types of hacking attacks. Okay, physical, syntactic, semantic. Now we will look at the countermeasures. Yate countermeasures for each of these three types of attacks. For physical attacks, okay, the various controls are using extremely strong security measures like strong locker systems. Then you have security checks for explosive elements, secret cams, danger alarms, hiding servers, okay, in security rooms. Next, we have for syntactic attacks. I'm just reading it out because I don't think there's anything to explain here. For syntactic attacks, you have enforce strong antivirus softwares to scan the system regularly and update them regularly. Enforce strong email security, which avoids threats to enter the system because if it is the entry point for, because it is the entry point for many threats. Use only proprietary softwares. Build strong security policy to avoid bringing external storage devices. Configure all firewalls to avoid the entry of unwanted softwares. Lastly, we have semantic attacks where you encrypt each and every message saved in the file system, maintain the modification log for each and every file on the file system, use digital signature for attachment transfer to authenticate the message, enforce strong security rules for all the firewalls to avoid intruders use your system, then encrypt every message transmitted over the network, never make any financial transaction until it is confirmed that the website is a valid source. Okay, then we come to some hacking tricks. Okay, so we have gone through the different types of hackers, we have gone through the different types of hacking attacks. Okay, the three types: physical, semantic, and syntactic. Then the various control countermeasures. Okay, now we look at the tricks. Okay, so there are some available tricks. One is the spoofing. Okay, we have already gone through some spoofing attacks like ARP spoofing, DHCP spoofing in the last class. So spoofing is a trick in which an unknown and unauthorized user pretends as a known and authorized user. Okay, so first the attacker will pretend as some authorized user, and then he would try to gain access to all the information that are in transit. So the attacker uses the unsecure portions of the network or system and follows very simple procedures to make them as a part of the network or to get access to sensitive information and uses it to achieve the intentions. Next, we have malwares. So hackers will use chat rooms or emails to insert the malware into the system, and based on the intention of attacking, different kinds of malwares are created, such as viruses to corrupt the system, worms to crash the system, and spyware to collect the information. Chat rooms are an easiest way to penetrate into the system. The attacker will send a file into the system and then install it without the notice of the user. Next, we have phishing attack. Okay, so it is a trick of collecting the personal information of the user. The user uses websites, phone calls, emails, and many other ways. So recently, much recently, I would like to share this with you, but let me just stop the record here. So phishing is a trick of collecting the personal information of the users. The attacker uses websites, phone calls, email, and many other ways to collect the personal information about the user. Based on the collected information, the attacker may crack your password, go for identity theft, etc. Next, you have electronic bulletin board. So these are forums designed to discuss IT related problems and its solutions. These kinds of forums can also be used for hacking. Let us see how it happens. The hacker will provide the solution for most of the IT problems. Their suggested solutions will be in such a way that you will be changing the firewall settings, executing the program suggested by them, making changes to the program according to their instructions, and so on. So this solution will create vulnerabilities in the system and opens an opportunity for attacks. Next is information brokers. These are individual or organizations which sells the information for some charge, but they sell the information only for known and genuine cause. But some attackers procure this data from different sources and accumulate them to get more information. With the base information available, they will make fake calls and get the remaining information. They also send attractive prizes and collect your proofs and bank details. With all this information, they penetrate into bank accounts and steal your money. Some of them can cause your information for criminal activities. Okay, next is we have wormhole attack. So this trick is commonly used by the professional attacker to grab the message flowing from the node. In this track, attackers will create a fake router and present it in such a way that the path from the source destination must be through that router only. Okay, and this confuses the routing protocol and allows the messages to flow through the router. Professional hackers will use this information to grab the personal information available in the message if it is not encrypted and use this information to attack the system. So এইবিলাক basics হয়, এইবিলাক একদম ইজিলি দিয়া আছে গোটেইখিনি, তোমালোকে এইখিনি ইয়াৰ পৰা পঢ়িলে হ'ব ন। Internet public records. Governments of many countries will sell the public details to the jurisdiction for good causes. This information is used for research activities and by NGOs for the welfare of the people. If this information goes into wrong hands, it can be misused. Next, yes. Approaches to hacking. Password attacks. এখানে last হয়। এখানে নিজে চাই লবা নহলে approaches to hacking. This is the last topic I guess for this unit. Approaches to hacking. The present era is using the internet for their business activities. At the same time, intruders are designing and implementing various techniques to hack the secure information available. The various approaches for hacking are: first is physical intrusion. So here the physical attack refers to damage of physical property such as system resources of the organization. Sometimes the loss of damage ranges from minimum to maximum. The loss or damage can happen with either the human interventions or natural calamities such as flooding, earthquakes, building demolitions, etc. Internal and external person may perform physical hacking. If the person is an insider, then they will not implement many procedures like external hackers. Since the users are internal to the organization, there will be at least a minimum level of organizational assessments. Whereas for external users, they have to design various methods to perform the physical intrusions. So for insiders, this will be very much easier for them to get access as compared to the outsiders, okay, external users. Next, physical intrusion approaches are through access cards. So gaining the access in the wrong way to enter into the organization. If the organization is using access card system, in this method, either they will create duplicate cards or they may steal the original card of the employee and finally damage the resources of the organization. Next, you have compromising with the insiders. So if an organization using the traditional security systems such as security guard, then it is easy for the hacker to perform physical intrusion. In this case, the hackers show benefits to the security person to gain access or enter inside the organization. Next, you have stealing passwords. Here the organization, if the organization is password centric, then the hacker steals the password of one of the employees to gain access to the organization. Breaking the security system. So in this case, the attacker damages the security system to gain access into the organization and damage the organizational equipments. So I will continue. We have 10 more minutes. So till for the session to end, till then I will continue. ठीक है? जो रखी जाम, तारपर तुम्हारे निजे continue कोई लो बाबा कारण बेसी नहीं आते. Next we have password attacks. So password cracking techniques. Unobai disla no hai presentation adha dibo baki thaki gol. I think Sankalpita and Safur. Sankalpita dile olop baki Safur roi goisila. Those who did not give their presentations, we will carry just after the syllabus is complete. Okay, we will continue with that. Okay, so first is what are the different types of password attacks that we will learn. First is password sharing. Okay, here the method works based on sharing of passwords with others. For example, despite of security policy, most of the employees share their password details with their colleagues to keep and maintain the working status on. Yes, we do in most of these cases. Such situations may result in trust issues and sometimes create a danger of using your password to access all the resources which others cannot access through their credentials. So employees, for their benefits with ignorance and trust, reveal their password. Sometimes it will create great problems and punishments to the original employee. Next is password capturing. Okay, so hackers, in order to retrieve passwords, they use this method. Here they will use some other equipments to capture the password, such as keyloggers, camera fixing at hidden places, some additional pop-ups, okay, to learn the password, network monitoring softwares, etc. Okay, so this is how they will capture the passwords of authenticated employees. Next is password guessing. So it is popularly used technique by hackers to identify the passwords of anyone's. Basically, they guess the password, personal information of users such as names, surnames, children names. Okay, so mainly passwords are kept based on, personal information. Okay, based on your name or your parents name, your any of your relatives, or maybe some games that you want, that you like, some certain things you have inclination for, okay, you are interested in. Okay, so based on that, so things which we are attached to or which we like, so we keep passwords of that kind. So that is how, once the that kind of information is gained by the hacker, he can guess the password from there. Okay, because in most cases passwords are kept in those forms only. That is what it has been given here. So likewise, they can identify the password by guessing. Here are again some more. Along with all the techniques given below above, the hackers use the other approaches for password hacking. Okay, some are given below, like hackers create the fake sites to get the password details. The users cannot differentiate such sites because they look almost same as the original ones. Okay, ignoring such details, the user may provide all the details. This is known as phishing attack. Next is few members having the habit of writing their passwords in some book or paper. So what if those books or papers get stolen? Yes. Hackers use the traditional dictionaries and try every word that appears in the dictionary to check whether if it is the password. If all the words are completed and does not match, then they try for some other methods. Okay, so that is known as dictionary attack. So please learn all these terms. Okay, whatever terms you have got today, learn all that terms. Based on trial and error method, they would go on checking for passwords. Okay, and this is known as brute force attack. So this is also we have learned. Okay, we will have some options, we will have some range. Okay, and based on that we will go on trying. Okay, every time we will try, we might get errors, we might be successful. That is known as brute force attack. Next is network access and web server attacks. So it is not that simple to hack the network or web server. Hackers use various techniques to gain the access to the organization servers. Many organizations are using the internet concepts to make their work simpler. So hackers are trying to access them through the internet. Since companies are sharing the data through the network, if hackers successfully trap the network, then they get access to the organization. So there are various types of network hacking techniques. One is the VPN attack. So what is VPN? Virtual private network. So any organization, okay, any organization you have, so inside that organization, they will have some one public network. They will have the organizational network. Okay, so nowadays when we are working from home, okay, many of the big organizations, companies, they have their own organization network. So what happens is all the employees, all the employees, when they will start working from home, okay, from the time, so they have to first log in. They will be provided, every employee of that organization will be provided some username and password by the organization itself. Accordingly, they will have to get, log into that private network of the organization, and so that they can be a part of that organization virtually. Okay, So that is how VPNs work nowadays, and we are making the most use of it now. Okay. So to implement this, the organization IT departments are setting up the virtual private network. Means it's a private network inside the public network. Okay. So it's just a part of the big public network has been made private, so that only the organization, okay, the organization can use that network for their personal use. Okay, no other outsider can have access to it because it's private to the organization, but it's a part of the private public network only. Okay. So when the organization is using VPN concept, the IT department people provide the username and passwords for their employees to connect to the organization network. In this method, hacker collects the basic information of the authenticated user. By using this, the hacker calls the IT people for password, projecting he or she is the authorized user to gain access by providing some details. If provided details are correct, they will gain access and collect information from anywhere and anytime. So hackers like that way, hackers can also attack the VPN. They would be using some, they will be stealing some pass, the credentials, okay, and they will be using them to log into that private network of the organization, posing to be some authorized user of the organization, and likewise they will gain access to it. Okay. Next we have chat technique. So in this method, the hacker connects to people through social engineering sites. Okay. And once they start chatting, okay, so the person, the other person, the other innocent person, when they start exchanging messages, so there's one kind of trust that is built up. Yes. And in that way, the hacker tries to learn, okay, the person information, collects the information from the user. In most of the cases, the victims are newbies who are the members using the network for the first time. In the initial stage of the network usage, they will continuously contact or send messages to service providers. Therefore, the hackers create the fake accounts with the name of service providers and start chatting with such people. The customers will think that other side person is the correct user and provides the required details to them. With this technique, finally, the hackers can gain access. Next, we have the DOS attack that you all know. Okay, that you all know. So DOS attack can be made on anywhere. It can be made on the servers. It can be made on the entire network. So whenever you are flooding or congesting an entire network or a particular server, so denial of service means where the server or the network will deny to give service to the authorized person. So the attacker will flood the entire network in such a way that any other packet that are being passed through the network, they will be simply dropped and ignored, and the network or the server will deny to provide service to the authorized people. Okay, so that is how it works. You know already of this. Next we have sniffing. In this technique, hacker uses monitoring tools to get the required information. Then these tools provide the packet information, network topology, IP address of source, destination ports. It also provides the details about the security measures implemented in the organization, type of packet information, and these are few to list. Next, we have web server attacks. You want to say, oh, এখানে পঢ়ি লবা নহলে নেকি এটাই আছে লাস্ট web server attack to আছে হবনে ini চাই লবা একদম ইজি হয় একো নাই is it fine the last topic
yes ma'am
হবো